All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to the pre-market show as we get started for another week of trading. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. Yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All right, guys. So let's get to it. As usual, if you're joining us for the first time in our pre-market show, let me make sure this is muted here. I'm going to hear myself double in just a second in our YouTube feed. All right. There we go. So, guys, make sure yeah, if you're joining us for the first time, every morning 8:30 pre-market show, we go over our gappers list of what we traded yesterday, our watch list here, and then we'll go over our gappers list and trade ideas. We'll go over the news and the SPY to see what's going on for that day and that week. We'll do some announcements, and then we'll come back and do support and resistance. So we do this every morning 8:30 Eastern time here on YouTube and in our chat room as well. And for those who are not in our chat room is open pretty early. I think we're opening now, Norm, 7 a.m., I believe.
Yeah, 7 a.m. Eastern every morning, and we'll have scanners up or whatever. I mean, scanners really don't show it. Carlos, before I get into that, I don't know that you're sharing your screen on YouTube.
Oh,
I have not seen it change over
no,
yet.
you're right. Let's hit that button, flip it over. There we go.
Uh, yeah, the room's opening every morning at 7 a.m. now. There's really usually, it's very rare that anything is on the scanners at that time, unless there's just something crazy going on. There just isn't enough volume. But now that we have the Benzinga squawk feature that we have in the chat, we found that it is beneficial. We've also kept the room open later till what time? I believe it's 6 p.m. or
Yes, 6 p.m.
something like
or
6
7.
p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because I mean, with earnings, especially companies start releasing earnings, people can listen on the chat, get the news first, and we've got a lot of traders that are actually successfully trading the pre-market, the post-market. So
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. So again, guys, if you're interested, definitely we'll talk more about how you can join to check out the room, and if you like it, you can definitely hang out with us. So, all right, guys, so let's get to it. Today is Monday, so there's no review of the previous day's watch list. So we're just going to get right to what the SPY is doing today and this week. Norm, what do you have going on?
well, as everybody knows, it's Thanksgiving week. It was really nice taking my son to school this morning. There was zero traffic when there's usually a lot. I got back like 15 minutes early. Um, but part of that too is we'll probably have a fairly light week. I was actually a little bit shocked when I came in, opened the gappers, and saw how long the list was. But I kind of see why. I think today we might get some decent action. MDCO is just blowing up right now. I think today we might get some decent action, and then it'll slow down. Wednesday's a full day. Thursday the market's closed, and then Friday the market closes at 1 p.m. Eastern. So half day Friday. So we really got pretty short week and then a half day.
Yep. All right, guys. So again, just something to be looking out for. That this week volume might just be slightly lighter than usual. All right, guys. So let's go over our gappers list. Although for Monday we have quite a bit on here. Let's see what's actually good and what's actually it's not trading very well. Let's start over with MDCO. Our first one on our list,
Yeah, this
MDCO.
this one's a this one's a cash buyout from Novartis. I was
Uh huh.
actually the reason it kind of I said that when I was talking. I had this ready to roll when we got into these, and I was really shocked to see it start popping like that, like it did just a second ago. It's kind of weird for a cash buyout, but that's what's going on there.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. You can see here, guys, we usually have this pop in. All the entire pre-market actions is pretty flat at one price range. So nothing that's gonna be great on this one today. I don't expect it to move. So I'm gonna remove it from my watch list here. So we'll get rid of this one. Next we have AQST. AQST 913,000 shares traded so far. Pre-market activity is looking very horrible. We do have looks like probably some large block trades being dumped here. 235,000 shares traded just in this one candle here. So obviously some block trades being done there. But again, overall, it's just the pre-market activity is very nasty, guys. You can see how choppy this is, how large the wicks are. Making some of these candlesticks not look very attractive. On the daily chart, you do have some kind of pattern forming over the last couple of days. Since late October, it looks like this thing started getting to some kind of uptrend here. But again, even then, it's not really a beautiful uptrend. It looks very robotic like I want to say. It's just kind of very choppy, not really smooth. So again, not sure about this stock and how it actually trades. This morning it's got some volume. What's the float on this one? Just want to check that. AQ
20 million.
20 million. AQST. All right, so
Well, there's I guess it's 11 in TI. It's 20 in FinViz.
yeah. So something funky with this one, guys. Not sure about this one. Again, I don't like the pre-market action right now, and I definitely, the daily chart just looks a little funky, so it might not be one that stays on our list. We'll keep watching it. Spread is really tight. Volume is great, up 18.5, but there's just not a lot looking all that great on this one.
And this one's moving on FDA approval of an ALS treatment.
Okay, gotcha. Here we have Tiffany, guys, TIF. So this one's been active over the last couple of days. Again, it had popped up here, kind of held this new range that it created. Now it's gapping up again, 5.6, 4.1 million shares traded. Now, Norm, I know did we have rumors of a buy-off on this one also? Was that something that caused this gap?
Yes. Yeah, LVMH, who is Louis Vuitton, essentially holds Louis Vuitton, is working to buy Tiffany, and they were in talks last week. They finally came to an agreement on a $16 billion deal. It is a stock deal, so it might move a little bit, but that's what's going on there.
Okay. All right, so we got some movements here again. Usually those type of catalysts don't trade very well. We'll keep an eye on this one, Tiffany, because it's one that we have traded in the past, but again, just don't see anything good coming out of that at the moment, especially with this type of pre-market activity. Next, 6.
I thought it was a stock. I thought it was a stock deal. It actually might be a cash deal. I'll have to look into that, and I'll chime back in.
Okay, excellent. So let's look at CLVS. This one we have seen quite a bit over the last couple of days. It is on this uptrend, guys. I mean, this thing has been every day seems to make a newer high than the previous day. It's just kind of some nasty ABCD patterns, some over ABCD patterns here on this uptrend. But again, it's just not doing it very clean. You can see here we do have a base down here that we were able to bounce off this $3 mark, and we have several days that we actually did watch this and put on some levels on our list. But again, daily's just a little bit funky. On the pre-market activity, we do have 130,000 shares traded. We do have almost a little bit more than a third or a fourth kind of sitting on here, 54,000. Again, so not looking all that clean on the pre-market. Just not sure about this one, guys. Not really sure. We'll keep it on here. We'll come back to it. Again, this thing is climbing back pretty nice. We have traded it before, or at least looked at it several times. You can see up here we have some levels over at around 12.20, and then down here when it started gapping above $5 and $4. So we'll come back and see this pre-market activity can get a little bit better. It has been trading a lot of volume the last couple of days. If you look down here, you can see how much volume has been trading over its regular trading volume. It's definitely a lot higher over the last couple of days, creating this beautiful pop towards the top here, towards 910 this morning. CGC, this one also has been very active, up another 4.6. Go ahead.
Chime in real quick. I want to chime in real quick on Clovis. So I haven't seen any specific news. If anybody has seen any news that's come out in the last 2 or 3 days, throw it out there. The one thing about this is this has a high short float, a very high short float, 43%. So especially when you talk about the up move, it's really, if you look at a daily chart of the last year, it's had this long run down from $30+ down below 5, rounded out this bottom, and now it's really started to pick up, and it's almost doubled in the last couple of weeks. With a 43% short float, the pop we're getting today could be completely based on a longer time frame short squeeze.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And again, even right now, what's happening with CLVS doesn't look all that clean neither. So we'll see. Pre-market's pretty light. We only have this one candle here with some significant volume. The rest looks pretty choppy. Over to CGC. This one here is also kind of doing a move here, up 4.2 this morning, 371,000 shares traded. Now CGC has been on the radar for quite a bit since it hit 1350 or so, and now it's just been kind of bouncing back. So it got 3 big days here, some nice green candles. Just remove these levels so we can see it's a little clearer. There we go. So again, 3 big days here, getting all the way to this area of resistance here, which is nice. You can clearly see how that will play a part. Support, resistance, and now resistance. 3 days ago, this would have been Thursday, I believe. Friday had a down day, and today we're kind of getting into a possible continuation play. If you look at this, it kind of looks like almost like an ABCD pattern being formed here if we can get higher. So I like CGC the way it's looking right now. Volume looks great. You do have an interesting pre-market activity. It's not all that great, but again, it's not horrible. So we can give CGC a little room here to try to get a little better. CRN is the other one that has been trading very similar to CGC. Again, not with a lot of volume as CGC, but also one that you can see here. It's also has a comeback, a little pullback, and today they probably could be active. 104,000 traded right now, but again, CGC has a lot more volume. Usually trades a lot more cleaner. Let's go over to Tesla. All right, a lot of stuff going on Tesla, a lot of buzz over the last couple of days. They are up 3.6 this morning, 535,000 shares traded so far. So again, slightly up a bit. Norm, they probably fixed that mirror and they replaced that, and that probably is causing this pop here today. Any significant news on this Cybertruck stock?
Don't get me started, man. So the truck, it was announced, I think it was 24 hours after the unveiling, that they had sold 146,000 pre-orders for it. And then Elon Musk a few hours ago popped on Twitter and announced that they now have over 200,000 reservations for this truck that they unveiled on, what was that, Thursday night?
Thursday night, Friday, yep.
You know, the thing about this, and this is the weird part in this. So we'll leave our opinions of what the thing looks like at the door, because whatever. You have to put down $100 completely refundable deposit to get a truck they might produce in 2 years. It's almost like a $20 million zero interest loan to Tesla. I mean, I don't know how one actually gauges interest. Just for fun, to say you got a Cybertruck pre-order, you can go do it. Anybody that's got $100 can go, reserve a truck. So I don't put any weight in those at all. But and like Abiel's pointing out in the room, I think that there are people coming out and saying it's not street legal the way it's built. So anyway,
yeah. Very interesting, guys, to see what's going to happen with that situation. So looking forward to it. Nothing but excitement out of that. So Tesla this morning actually has a great pre-market activity, guys. Look at this beautiful flow here. We got some nice green candles heading up and this beautiful uptrend here in the 5-minute, right back down, creating just this nice movement in the pre-market activity with some good volume up 3.5. So this is one that we definitely want to keep an eye on today. On the daily itself also looks very good. We had a nice little pop here. We held this gap up, and from there we kind of broke the previous high of resistance we had here. Head a little higher, created a new high of resistance, more recent resistance here at 360. Nice gap down, and now we're gapping back up this morning. So again, could be interesting either way. If it heads back down, it loses its 340, could be nice. And if it starts heading close this small little gap here and to test its 360, that's also a possibility. So Tesla is one to definitely watch this morning. Next, we have Teva. So Teva, also one that we have been seeing quite a bit on here. Teva's making a nice comeback, guys. Beautiful, beautiful comeback. Once it hits 650, it's been trading very clean on the daily. You can see here this beautiful ABCD patterns after ABCD patterns, and then eventually making newer highs, right? So, and a nice beautiful uptrend this morning. What I do like about the daily chart, you can see how we have some kind of a flag here. And we're gapping up off that flag of 4.3 with some significant volume. Now, Teva in the intraday, I have not seen it on most of these days here because I was out for the majority part of it. Looks like it traded well, some green bars here. But for the most part, when I was watching this in early October, it was not trading very clean in the intraday. So we'll take a look at it. It's got some great volume today. Pre-market activity is starting to get going. Hopefully we can get better bars out of that and a nice flow to it. But the daily chart does look interesting on Teva this morning. Next, we have PDD. PDD also one that we been watching and been trading very nice, actually.
I just wanted to say, somebody, who was it just a minute ago? You're talking about Teva.
Yep.
I don't have Squawk turned on during the pre-market show because it's just, it's too confusing when we're going as fast as we are to have somebody else talking to your ear. Mm-hmm. But I know somebody just took a pre-market trade on Teva on a Squawk and had a profitable scalp on that.
Nice, nice.
Who was that?
Looks like Bo Trail.
Yep.
So nice, man. Good job. So yeah,
nice job.
So yes, if you are watching that alert, you can react quick. You can definitely take advantage of that. And again, it's not the first person that we've seen take advantage of this new squat rate that we have over here. So again, good job there. So Here we have PDD, guys. So PDD coming back also has a gap of 3.4, 244,000 shares traded so far. But this pre-market activity is not looking all that great yet. What I do like about this one, if there's anything to like, is the way the daily chart is forming. We're back at this area of prior resistance and support. Then from there we got this huge move up, right? So we're right at that area one more time, and happens to be also the bottom of this gap at 40. So depending how this thing wants to play out today, if it can get above 36, above this moving average, we do have room to run here. There's no significant resistance anywhere in this area here in most recent time, right? It's pretty clean there. So that joint almost looked like the Tesla truck there. That's how bad that was. But anyways, if this thing can get squeezed and get going here, you can definitely hit some of these levels up here. All right, so PDD is worth watching. We'll come back to that one.
Popping on PDD's popping on news that I guess Amazon is partnered with them to open up some pop-up shops through the end of the year in China.
Oh, okay. All right. So interesting. So after this drop down, we do have some positive news on it. So that's good. Definitely worth watching. And again, on this date here, it traded very, very clean, guys. I'm not sure about these 2 days, but on this one here on the drop down, it was pretty clean trading on that one. Nvidia. All right. Let's see what we have going on with Nvidia. Oh, this is the breakout that me and you've been talking about for a while. Obviously, it didn't give us a chance here at all. There was no movement on Friday that was going to show this breaking out. But here's the breakout that we were talking about. Me and Norm been watching this, and obviously you guys as well. We definitely had clear resistance up here on 13-ish, 31 or so. But you can see how this thing has just been wedging higher and higher, making higher highs, making higher lows here, just kind of banging its head against this area. And you can see here the beautiful pop. Now, this would have been nice if it would have happened during a breakout opening on the market open. But you can see here that it just happening now. So still interesting to watch, guys. 144,000 shares traded right now. Not quite as much for this breakout here, but we are up 2.6 this morning. Pretty flat right now. So I think people could just kind of wait to see what we're going to do here. We're going to go squeeze or head back down towards this range.
I'm gonna have my eye on this. They got an upgrade out of Morgan Stanley. Both they went to overweight from equal weight, and a price target from 217 to 259. So I'll definitely have my eye on this today.
All right, yeah, definitely. Nvidia looks interesting as well. Nice pop there on that breakout. Next we have Snap. Let's look at Snap. So Snap is up 2.4. We got a lot of green today besides Uber. We'll see what Uber's up to. But looking at Snap, Snap also looks like a possible breakout, guys. Look at this beautiful daily chart when it comes to this level that we're at right now. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, we try to break out of this several times. A lot of resistance. We couldn't get anything going above this this level of resistance. You can see also this area has been tested several times, and we have not been able to get above that. Now, if we can't get above this 1560, this 1575, there's all this clear room over here, at least up to this area here. You do have some room that you can run. So Snap looks interesting. The issue with Snap, it can trade very choppy, but I gotta say the last couple of days that we've been actually looking at Snap, when it has been in play, it has traded well, and it actually has done some several breakouts that were very clean. Like this day here, we had a nice breakout on this day. I couldn't actually believe how well it traded, and same thing with this day there. If you go look at the intraday, the opening on those 2 days were really, really well. So let's look at Snap, guys. We do have some volume on it. Norm, any news aside from just the technicals that I'm looking at now that can cause
they got an upgrade from Loop Capital with a price target of $20 this morning.
All right, perfect. So yeah, definitely worth watching Snap today. I think that it might make my final list. I just like the way the daily is forming here over the last couple of month and a half or so. All right, let's head over to Uber. Uber's the only one that is red on our screen today on our Trade Ideas Gappers. So Uber, and Norm, you called this out last week. I was not going to watch it, but you did mention, hey, Uber's got some news on it. I think their CEO was buying some multiple number of shares from his personal account. And it did just that, guys. Had a beautiful pop, and from there, a beautiful continuation. So we did see a nice play out of Uber based on that news. So today we're gapping down 4.4 this morning, 975,000 shares traded. So again, a lot of volume here. Any news causing this drop? Because it looked like it was all positive last week here, starting to get going, but now we're dropping down a bit.
Yeah, this is actually pretty negative news on Uber, and I had mentioned it last week. I took a swing trade on this. I'm fine. I'm in it from under 27, but and I got a little bit out on Friday. But So London, the transit authority in London has revoked their license or said they will not renew it. They've had some issues going back, I guess, to 2017 and have tried to be in compliance. They've gotten 2 extensions, and the latest extension expires, and they will not renew their license. That having been said, I believe it's going to be an 8-month process for them to appeal the decision and completely get through the appeals. They can still operate while that appeal is in motion until it is completed. So there's a number of safety concerns that the transportation board is alluding to for not renewing their license. Something, and Steve-O mentioned like 14,000. I don't know how many trips it is, but with uninsured drivers, drivers imitating are people that aren't even drivers imitating regular drivers. I don't know what in the world's going on over there, but yeah. So, and Uber is one of their big markets and one of their big growth markets. So that's throwing a wrench in this uptrend right now.
Yeah, it is because it really like it got some volume here to get going, some momentum, and now we're being smashed down here. Pre-market activity, guys, looking okay, guys, looking decent. We have a lot of volume here. It is trading very well, not as clean this earlier this morning, but now you can see how it's starting to trade nicely on a nice flow here. So hopefully we can get that going. So I definitely like Uber, guys. Great volume here. And let's see how this is going to react. It does look a little bit bullish here because we do have this thing being testing this level, which is the low and the high of low of I believe this is Thursday, high of Wednesday, right on there. You can see that there. So again, it is testing that. If it can break out of it, we can possibly get a squeeze going here. So again, I like the way Uber is looking right now in the pre-market activity, and I love the volume that we have at the moment. All right, guys, now that we have gone through our gappers list, as we do every morning, for those that are joining us for the first time, good morning, 8:54 Eastern time. We're going to go over Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers, MDCO, possible buyout. We're going to skip that one. We looked at that one earlier. SRNE, this one always on our gappers list, but doesn't trade very well. It's a garbage stock. It pops up and then it just sells down. Look at this daily chart, under $5. Just not gonna spend time on this one today. We have plenty that looks here great this morning. ADMP, also penny stock, not looking good. We'll skip that one. AMTD, also one that's has been very, very active. Had a beautiful pop last week when they announced that they were possibly going to be bought out by Schwab, or it is happening. I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet. Norm, I don't quite remember what the buzz was about, but I think it was a rumor, right?
Yep. No, it's happening. They were supposed to announce it and have it formalized, and there was some issue, but now it's all done and wrapped up, and I think it's supposed to be formalized today. So
excellent. All right, so again, this one pre-market is looking pretty interesting right now. We do have 1.2 million shares traded at the moment. Again, just not sure how much movement we're going to have out of this one today, but the volume is definitely there. Definitely worth watching to see what we're going to get out of it. We can fine-tune this stat later and see if we're going to keep that or not. VEON at the moment, nothing good there. We'll skip that one. AQST. This one we looked at earlier, we have it on our list. Again, pre-market's not looking all that clean, selling down a little bit with a million shares traded so far. And the daily chart looks just a little bit funky, a little bit robotic, I want to say. It's the best way to put it. CBAY, there's a gap down 77%, but we're going from $5 down to $1 here with 1 million shares traded. If you look at these candles, look at the volume of each and every one of these candles, 314, 235, 155,000 on each of these. So again, I don't like this pre-market action, especially on a stock that's trading at this price range. I'm not sure if this is a low flow stock. It is not, guys. 68 million shares. But again, this type of activity I don't want no part of, especially on a stock that's trading this low with all these block trades. If this gets better, we'll wait for it to hit our scanners. But I don't like what I'm seeing here already. It has been halted already. You can see here we have a T on here. So again, just nothing good going on with CBAY this morning. TVIX volatility index slightly down a bit today as the markets are up a bit. KZIA had a great day on Friday. Today we have 613,000 shares traded. Pre-market activity is okay. It's a little bit all over the place. Not all that exciting, really. Let's look at what the flow is for this one. KZIA, this is 6.5. This could be, go ahead.
there was a halt on this that got opened up earlier this morning, just an FYI.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I see a T right on here. So, again, this could be the low flow of the day, but there's already a halt on it. Pre-market activity does not look all that great. Already had a great day on Friday, and it's always concerning. I don't trade low flows, but it's always concerning that second day if you're going to get the momentum to actually get going. So you got to be patient and wait to see if this thing's actually going to hold and head back towards the upside. So just be cautious. We'll put this on because it looks like the low flat's moving somewhat decent today, but not all that great. Tesla we have, guys. Let's go over to our Nasdaq active on the second column here. JAN 435,000, up 85% this morning. Let's check the flow on this one. It looks like a low flow here, but JAN 1.7 million shares traded. So again, 1.7, guys. We do have some good volume on here. If we look at the daily, we have had some run-ups on here. Former runner, we see that on back in August, we had some pops here with some volume. So that could be that type of day today. But again, this is one of those stocks you want to be cautious with. We'll throw it down. If we have time to go over these low flow stocks, we definitely will. SRNE we spoke about, guys. Nothing good there. LIVX, nothing happening. MDCO. Again, we spoke about this earlier, possible buyout. So again, just not trading very well. You got some volume 3.4, but you can see here for those that missed it, just a pretty flat pre-market action, stuck at around 84.11. So use something that most likely is not going to be trading well today. ENOB, also nothing good here, no volume. ASQ ST continues to drop down here, giving it all back at this moment. ANAB, this one, no activity, no volume. ENG, also no volume here, no pre-market activity. NIU has 80,000 shares traded, but man, look at this horrible daily chart. This is, and what I mean horrible, you can see how almost every candle overlaps the previous candle, so you don't have no flow to it. You have more wicks than actual bodies, and just look at how this thing has been forming here. So it's gapping up 12.9. Look at the bad pre-market activity. So just all around, not a great pre-market activity, not clean, not a great daily chart. Just something you want to stay away from this morning. SGNX, usually on our list this morning, it is gapping up 9.6. I like the gap. I love how this is gapping up here. It just doesn't have the volume, right? So it's a beautiful gap with no volume. It can come in later. So if you guys see something great here, point it out. But right now the volume is really not there. Only 3,500 shares being traded at the moment. All right, guys, let's take a look. Norm, what do you have that you like this morning?
Nothing that's not already on this list or we haven't discussed. I do, except for Apple, I do like Apple. I think maybe we've had, after this run up, I think we've had a little bit of pullback and consolidation. I'm going to have my eye on this today in the next couple of days to see if it starts to go back up potentially. eBay, somebody called out eBay. It's not hitting our gappers because its ATR is only 49 cents, so it missed the scanner by 1 penny, but it's a hell of a pop. I didn't find any news on it, but somebody was calling out they're selling a business unit. So,
okay. All right. Yep, I do like eBay as well. Again, I don't see crazy volume just yet, but it should start to get going here, up 4.6, and we're at the top, the bottom of this gap. We had a gap down that we had a couple of days ago, so hopefully this can get going here and start squeezing anybody that's sitting short here into this gap. So this will be interesting to watch, guys. We'll keep an eye on it. What do you guys like on your end in the chat room? Let's go over here to our chat. So eBay we have. All right, so Peter's confirming eBay selling their StubHub to via GoGo for billions. So yeah, that's good. Get some revenue in. KL, let's take a look at that. KL this morning. Oh, this is interesting. It should be hitting our scanner soon. There it is. 109,000 shares traded right now in KL. Horrible daily chart though. There's no pattern whatsoever on this daily chart here at all. What kind of stock is this? Kirtland Lake Gold. So is it a gold stock? If it is, usually don't trade very well.
It's not worth watching.
Yeah, definitely is not worth watching, guys. Again, it has a nice drop here, but again, this daily is just horrible. So we're gonna skip on that one. Disca and UGAS. So usually I do not trade these guys. This is something that Norm keeps an eye on. Discovery, we'll look at that one. This one here has no volume at the moment. It has a great daily chart the last couple of days. Nice pop here. Beautiful ABCD pattern, and then the breakout on the daily. But again, right now pre-market shows no volume being traded. It's a block trade here of 334,000. So you can't count that as volume for this morning. So Teva we have on our list. We'll take a closer look at it. Might not make my final list because Teva just trades a little bit weird. I think we have some other ones that are going to trade a lot better this morning. All right, IBKR. So IBKR we have traded in the past. They don't have volume right now. Again, just got a couple of trades here that's causing some of this move in the pre-market. The daily does look interesting though. It looks like it might want to break out of this area here, and you do have some room to run to 51 if we can get going, maybe 51.50. But again, it's just no volume right now in AMD, our old buddy.
IBKR is an awesome broker, but it doesn't trade well,
Exactly. Yeah, have him as
from
a
my
broker, but
experience.
don't have him in your portfolio, or
And
your
it's yeah.
or day trade. So here we go, guys. AMD's daily looks amazing, guys. Another pullback here. Looks like it's being bought up. So again, we can be putting it for another run. The pre-market activity doesn't have all that great volume for AMD. I expect 500 and better, 700. 800 is normal for A&D when it is in play. But today, the pre-market activity is actually looking decent, and the daily looks decent. So this could be a possible as well. I'm not going to add it on here because I got way too many, but I will keep it in mind if it hits our scanners on AMD, or to check in later on a secondary list around 10:30, see what's moving there for AMD. Let's look at AMRN. We'll do a few more, then we'll get into announcements. AMRN, this one, again, I think this could be in play, and it could move quite a bit. We have traded this one in the past. My problem with it is just look at this chart now. That over the last couple of days, it's been so erratic. I mean, how are we going to trade this here, right? So we'll have to wait for the open, see what it gives us. Right now, it has 74,000. It's not really gapping up or down much. It's pretty flat at the moment. I think this is a good one to have on your secondary list. Pre-market activity is not looking all that great, so I will put this aside for now. But again, we've seen what AMRN can do. It can be very wild, and it can run nicely if it wants to do so. But again, just right now, I'm not seeing the cues to keep this one on our primary list. Crsp, also one that doesn't have great volume right now. Daily chart looks interesting. Actually looks pretty good. You have a nice little uptrend here with some healthy pullbacks. A healthy pullback here holding the moving average, popping higher. Got over 2 extended here, so you are going to get this drop. But this drop was held by the moving average as well. So again, now you have another gap of 3%. This could be interesting for a possible pop. But again, just be cautious with this one. Look at the ATR on this. Got to be really high, guys. Look at this candle, 74 down to 62. That's almost a $10+ candle there. Be very cautious in the number of shares you're taking on this one. But again, could be a good one to also put on our secondary list. All right, guys, 9:05. Let's get over to announcement. Then we'll come back to this list. Not a lot looks great here. We're going to get rid of a lot that's on here. I just left them on there. Forgot to take them off. And then we'll fine-tune this list, get some levels of support and resistance as we get going here. So let me switch over to our announcements.
Excuse me, guys. I was about to sneeze. Just a quick weekly rundown. Keep in mind, this is a holiday week. We put this up just to go over what usually is transpiring. So things change. Brian usually has a swing discussion 2:30 p.m. on Mondays. Class 1 onboarding at 8 p.m. tonight. Trade review on Tuesday. Thursday trade review will not be going on because of Thanksgiving. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the holiday break. And just a reminder, the market is closed on Thursday, and it's a half day Friday. It closes at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then we've got a new scanner contest still going on until the end of the month. If you go to the forum that AB will put up a link to, if you go in there and describe your scanner, the community will vote. You can win an iPad or iPhone Pro 11, whatever it is that you like. You can work that out with Andrew, and community will vote. And you will also add your scanner to our list of scanners that stays up in the room for members all day. If you'd care to upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, you can do so using the promo code premarket LT35, and that'll give you 35% off the one-time lifetime membership payment. Upcoming meetups this Friday in Toronto. Hope you guys have a blast there. And then December 14th in London. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, you haven't checked out the chat room, you can try it for 1 week at a discount. Use the promo code premarket24. It does not auto-renew or turn it into any other kind of memberships. Just 1 week for a discounted price, and see what you think. Also, if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, you will get notified whenever we go live with new content. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Norm. Okay, so let's look at this list. Going to go through it quickly first, see what does not look great, and kind of remove that so we can fine-tune this a little bit more and watch some stuff that's actually in place. So AQST, we do have shares for short on this one. Pre-market starting to get a little bit better, guys. Again, was pretty choppy in this area, but now starting to drop a little bit more and starting to get a little bit better. The daily chart still not all that great, so we can keep it on here. We'll do some levels for this, but again, not one of my favorites this morning. TIF continues to just be pretty much flat. On the 5-minute, not much movement out of this one, so I'm going to remove this one. Look at the volume, 5.2 million shares traded so far, but we're not getting any type of pre-market activity on this one, obviously, with the news that's going on, as Norm mentioned earlier on TIF. So going to remove this one. Next on our list, we have CLVS. This one has potential, guys. I mean, the daily chart looks to be on a nice little uptrend here. It does have potential to get going. Pre-market's not looking all that great. The volume is there, though, and we are up 5%. If we can get a nice little flow going here, if we can break that 915, the high of the pre-market, it does have potential. I do want to watch this one. It could be one that can trade very well this morning towards the upside. CGC also is putting in a great pre-market activity, so we'll keep this one. Look at how beautiful this is, popping up here above the previous day close. Nice pullback to the moving averages, and then possibly it's going to test this 1926 high of the pre-market. This is exactly what we want to see on a good, clean pre-market activity. And the daily chart is also very good. I like the fact that we tested this 14, had a nice little run up here all the way up to 21, 22. And then we got the pullback, support, and now we can hopefully head high. That's a beautiful pattern to trade off if we get confirmation off the daily and also off the 5-minute chart on the pre-market. So Tesla, I'm going to watch, has a great volume, 591, and climbing is up 4%, guys. And just look at this beautiful pre-market activity. It has a nice little range coming up all the way here to 350, then back down, back up, and then back down. It finally looks like it's finding some kind of support here in this area. In the daily chart overall, we're kind of sitting much pretty flat after the gap, right? So after the gap, we're kind of just hovering slightly over this moving average. If we can get going towards the upper bottom, it can create a good opportunity here. So this thing can go, I'm not biased on this, it can go up or down, really. There's no bias on what this thing can do, but I do like the pre-market, the way this has been forming here. Teva. So Teva selling back down here. Teva also looks like a possible breakout. We do have this area of resistance we try to break out of couple of days last week and we're not able to. Today we're gapping up 4.3, 1.1 million shares traded. But this volume, don't get confused with this volume. Although Teva always has a lot of volume and does not mean that's going to trade very well or clean, right? The problem with Teva is, are we going to get clean trading on the daily chart when on the open, on the pre-market, not sorry, on the pre-market, after the pre-market when it opens up? Are we going to get a good clean trading out of it, right? Most days you don't get that. So that's my concern with Teva. We'll do some levels on it, but might not keep it. PDD on defense, guys. I think I'm going to, yeah, I'll keep it for now. Nvidia is good. Possible break. I like that one. Snap. I'm gonna get rid of Snap just because I have way too many, and Snap could be very choppy, guys. So I'm just gonna get rid of Snap right now. Uber is interesting. AMTD. Oh man, it's also. I thought I was gonna get rid of a lot more, but it's a lot that's interesting on here. So, wow. Okay. Let's go through it. So AQST, guys, high of the pre-market sitting all the way at 833. This thing has dropped down towards the high of 2 days of Friday here and below that. So again, it's really selling down pretty hard right now. Pre-market activity is looking great. Let's see what other levels we have. Towards the bottom, we do have your previous day close and the lows from the last 2 trading days. We do have this level right here at $6.64. So I'm going to mark that down as well. Above the 830 high of the pre-market. Again, I don't think we're going to head any higher, to be honest. This thing looks like it just wants to drop further and further. We do have some levels right over here at 1093. I don't think we'll get there. It's another one here at 1271 based on these supports that you're finding once this thing started dropping. Resistance here on the way back up. But again, I don't think we're heading up to those levels the way the pre-market activity is forming right now. Not one of my favorites. I do have some levels on there, but this might not make our final list. CLVS also might not make our final list. Again, pre-market activity is not looking all that great. I'm going off the daily chart really on this one. That looks very good, very clean. 915 is the high of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, you got plenty of levels. You have your previous day close. The highs and lows for the last 2 trading days are all on here. And then below that, we have some other levels we worked on last week on here that still look to be relevant in this area. 625, 511, and 473. Above 915, let's see what do we have. We do have this little island here, right? So we gap down, held this little island, created a consolidation, and gap down some more. So the top of this island will be a good place to have on our list. 952, and then above that, the bottom of this before we gap down, 1056. So some possible levels towards the top. We can get above this 915 and get going, put in a nice little squeeze there on CLVS. CGC, guys, I do like. I think the pre-market is doing a very good job here. High of the pre-market 926. Above that, we do have a level right over here as well at 20.55. So I'm going to mark that down also. And then above that, we have the high from 2 days ago going back to Thursday, sitting on a moving average as well. So that's pretty nice. Towards the bottom, guys, previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. And then we also have this date right over here at 1663 could be a possible support. I do like CGC for a possible long, guys. The way this is forming here, nice ABCD pattern off the 5-minute, and also on the daily chart, on the bigger time frame, you do also have this nice ABCD pattern also forming, holding these 18 levels. So again, that looks interesting if it can hold that. Tesla, guys, great volume. We are stuck within a lot of levels right now, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So you don't need really to add any more on here, guys. Don't make this a little more complicated than what it is. The only thing I'm going to add here, because I do want to break this up, want to see this break up towards the upside, is this 340, 350, 349.57 level. That's the only thing I really want to have on here, right? The rest is pretty congested with levels. Previous day close also between where the price action is now. I would love to see this break out of that 349, that 350 area to head to over to that 360, the recent high that we have over the last couple of days. Teva here, guys, again, as we mentioned earlier, could be very choppy. High of the pre-market sitting at 10.95. This might not make my final list. Towards the bottom, we got plenty of highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close, all listed on here. Again, but it's one of those stocks that just does not trade well, even with the volume. PDD, guys, doesn't have a clean pre-market activity. I love the gap and a possible squeeze here, but I'm going to remove this one for today just because the pre-market is not looking all that great at the moment. Nvidia, guys, nice breakout. We missed the breakout. Didn't happen. I wish this breakout would have happened at the at the open of the market. It happened at the pre-market today, so unfortunately we missed that. Me and Noah were watching that for the last couple of days. High of the pre-market 217.49. Towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market is also the previous high that we have here, 214.88. So I'm going to mark that down as well. So again, that's all I'm going to mark down on Nvidia, guys. I'm looking for this to hopefully break out of this pre-market high and head forward. Towards the bottom, you got plenty of support levels down here. Uber at the moment has a great pre-market activity as well. Low of the pre-market sitting at 27.50. So I'm going to mark that down. All the way to the bottom here, you have a great support. I don't think we'll test that today, 25.65. And then towards the top, you got the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close. So we got a nice big drop here on Uber with some good volume. So hopefully we can get something out of that today. Pre-market activity looks great, guys. Got looking a lot better than it did prior to 6:30. Hopefully it can continue that way and give us a nice breakout. AMDT has a good pre-market activity, guys, but I have way too many. And this is one that just might chop sideways because, again, we had the news of a buy. We already had the pop on here. So I don't know how much room we have to go higher or lower on this one. It might just go sideways. That's just my thoughts on it. So I'm going to remove it for now and watch the other ones look a little bit better. eBay, I do like, guys. If eBay can get going, we can get a nice, beautiful squeeze above this level here. They got some positive news of selling one of their side gigs for billions of dollars, so they're getting in some nice revenue. We have a level at 38.39, one at 39.37. If we can get going and do a nice squeeze, there's no significant resistance coming up around this area here, so you have some room to head all the way to 39. Towards the bottom, you do have this area here, support 39.67, and then another one here, several days banging their heads at 36.26. I don't expect this to drop down that low, but you do have those 2 levels just in case. All right, folks, that is what we have. Again, still not completely fine-tuned. I'm going to remove the low flows. I'm not going to focus on that today. I think we have plenty of good ones right on here. Andrew's about to come on now and fine-tune this list even further and see what else he likes on his watch list. We also have some more that are popping up here in our gappers list, like a QIWI. I'm not sure how that looks. But again, guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Trade safe,
everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for the great pre-market show. I was actually listening to it from the car when I was coming here. So I'm